on my recent trip to London. I was just back, and I had a wonderful opportunity to meet with conservatives of the Middle East Council, and they had published this wonderful booklet. So anybody interested can always, manage to get a copy of this, and to understand as to those people who have authored this publication more about Britain after Brexit.
And it's accessible for everybody to
I
get
believe
this.
so, yes.
Yeah.
It's very easily accessible through our embassy in London. Very easily it can be, or even through the British embassy here that we have in Bahrain. Anybody needing a copy. I think it talks about the old friendships, new opportunities, what next after Brexit. So it touches up on key facts. It enhances the strength of our relationship that is already existing and how they see Britain moving forward after Brexit. Yeah.
Great, perfect. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but moving on to another manifestation of the strength of bilateral relations, the recently opened British Naval Facility in the Kingdom of Bahrain will contribute not only in boosting ties, but also in protecting regional security. More in this report.
During his recent trip to Bahrain, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales has opened a new naval support facility NSF in Manama. The ceremony was also attended by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander and First Deputy Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. It is a fitting way to mark the 200th anniversary of Anglo-Bahraini cooperation, but more importantly, it's a reaffirmation of the UK's commitment to the Gulf and to Bahrain in particular. With the region continuing to face difficult times, the British return to East of Suez is a reassuring sign that our countries remain steadfast friends and allies, with strong diplomatic, military and trade relations. The NSF is the latest initiative in a long-standing defense relationship that has cemented ties between our kingdoms. It will be the second busiest center of operations for the Royal Navy after Portsmouth. It will allow the British Navy to recrew, resupply and undergo repairs in the Gulf without having to return to the UK or other ports, saving time and reducing costs. The facility is just one element of an enduring British presence in Bahrain. The British Royal Air Force has had strong links for over 90 years, from its first presence in Bahrain in 1924 and the establishment of a base during World War II to the critical role played by British Royal Air Force aircraft operating from the kingdom in the liberation of Kuwait in 1991. Such cooperation is vital in the face of extremist and terrorist threats facing us all today. These threats are felt particularly strongly across the Gulf states, where we have seen either rise of power vacuums in Iraq and Syria into a regional international threat. The UK has played a prominent and effective role in tackling the global challenge of terrorism and extremism. It has been a leading member of the Global Coalition Against Terrorism, taking part in international operations to disrupt and defeat terrorism groups. On the domestic front, the UK's de-radicalization programs are among the most effective anywhere in the world. Such initiatives to tackle extremism before it takes root are the only long-term solution to the problem. Today's Gulf is a region of challenges, but also of opportunity. The government of Bahrain is committed to strong and effective cooperation and partnership with the UK across all fields. Whether it's through trade agreements or joint military ventures, our two countries have long been mutually supportive. Prince Charles's visit an auspicious moment marking 2 centuries of respect and cooperation, and the Kingdom of Bahrain is steadfast in its commitment to further strengthening these relations long into the future.
That was a very interesting report. Now, we also, you touched upon the security in the questions that we asked before. But right now, the newly opened naval facility, it reflects the strength of defense relations between the two countries. What is the aim of it?
Well, going back first to 2015, Sarah, where the Right Honourable Philip Hammond, who was at the time the British Foreign Secretary, and of course our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmed, they broke ground for this new naval base. And they named it HMS Jufair. And it's a major overseas commitment by the United Kingdom to Bahrain, to the region, to the Gulf region. It aims to protect maritime interests, deters looming threats from the conflicts that we can see or witness around the region. It symbolizes how Bahrain's security is seen as important to Britain as its own security.
Yes.
And how this partnership has very wide implications. The new Mina Salman support facility provides a permanent expansion of the Ministry of Defence's presence in the Gulf, the first permanent UK presence east of Suez since the last 40 years. So one component of it, as I touched upon earlier, is the welfare block that was officially inaugurated during the recent visit of His Royal Highness Prince Charles. And of course, this facility and further facilities that it will be expanding in due course will provide better support for the ships in operation, including supporting humanitarian crisis, training, equipment storage, multi-purpose accommodation even for service personnel.
Because of you're just saying it's a massive project.
It is.
There's this misconception that it's a base. Can you fix that misconception?
See, Sarah, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But as for myself, I have no misconception about it. I feel that by setting this up, by UK setting up its Royal Navy base in the Kingdom of Bahrain, the United Kingdom is helping to strengthen economic and military ties in the region, proving the commitment to ensure stability in the Gulf. To my understanding, the base will support 4 UK minesweepers, visiting frigates, destroyers. It shows just a commitment to military expansion. It provides support and accommodation for approximately 80 UK military personnel. It will also help end the British reliance, to my understanding, on the facilities of the larger US Naval Fifth Fleet that we have here. They have a base here also. And it's also expected to eventually provide port facilities for the Royal Navy's new generation of aircraft carriers. On defense and security, Great Britain closely cooperates and shares its skills with Bahrain's defense forces in a wide range of fields. But of course, those military personnel working at the Mina Salman port or the Royal Navy vessels, they don't just serve the UK-Bahrain defence interests. They contribute to tackling an array of challenges from the Mediterranean to the east coast of Africa. And through this presence, we can see their presence here in the immediate future.
Yes.
And we're very privileged that they've chosen Bahrain as a facility, as a location for their facility, because the diplomatic ties goes back a very long way. And we see Bahrain as a hub for the region, and we see, the UK Navy force protecting any nuclear threats by neighbouring countries, looking towards the stability of the entire region as a complete region. And of course, in addition to the existing air base that they have in the United Arab Emirates, they may expand land exercises, to what I understood from my colleagues, my friends at the Embassy of the United Kingdom here. They may expand land exercises in the region. Not only they have commercial interests, there are political interests as well. And the naval facility will also be able to recrew, resupply, undergo repairs for these vessels in the Gulf region without having to return to the UK, to Portsmouth or other ports. And this will really save time and reduce costs considerably. And of course, in the immediate run, I'm sure the base will be able to enhance the UK's role in the 60-nation international coalition fighting terrorism in the region. It will be available to position its most advanced destroyer, which I believe is called the Type 45, as well as aircraft carriers. So we're really grateful to the United Kingdom towards their friendship, towards this wonderful trust and mutual understanding between our two countries.
How would the NSF facilitate the work of the UK in the region?
As in the work of the United Kingdom? Again, the facility is a reaffirmation as to the commitment of the United Kingdom and to the Gulf, in particular to our country. Such cooperation is vital in the face of the extremist and terror threats facing us all today. And of course, these threats we can witness is faced particularly strongly in the GCC region. And the UK has played a very prominent role in tackling the global challenges of terrorism and extremism. And it's been a leading member of the global coalition against terrorism, taking part in international operations to disrupt and defeat the terrorist groups. And, on the domestic front, to my understanding, the United Kingdom's de-radicalization program, is among one of the most effective anywhere in the world. And such initiatives to tackle extremism before it takes root can only serve or help serve as a long-term solution to tackle the problem. And today we see the Gulf region as being a region of challenges, but then again, we're also a region of opportunity. So today the government of Bahrain is committed wholeheartedly to strong and effective cooperation and continued partnership with the United Kingdom across all fields, across all sectors.
Okay, now can current relations consolidate further cooperation or relations?
Indeed it can. I personally feel, continuous visits, Sarah. Like, for example, now I just returned back from London, very fruitful, interaction with counterparts there. Special thanks to our ambassador in London, His Excellency Sheikh Fawaz, for helping to, coordinate such important meetings, whether it's on interfaith, whether it's our counterparts to talk about legislative issues, etc. And, of course, the recent visit of His Majesty, the recent visit of His Royal Highness Prince Charles, of course, on leadership levels, very important to continue to strengthen the ongoing friendship that there is. Again, we have the forthcoming visit of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Theresa May, whom I personally admire very much in her role as well as a leading lady there in the United Kingdom. She'll be attending the 37th Gulf Cooperation Council Summit that's hosted in our country. And I personally look forward to hearing, what she has to say and to share. And it is indeed a very historic moment for both countries and for the entire GCC states, because again, the diplomatic ties are very strong, and we go way back. And of course, since the last visit by the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, David Cameron, we have seen now another forthcoming visit of Theresa May, and I'm sure she will have a very busy agenda that will be packed from morning to night, with so many people to meet and so many events to attend.
Do you think it's a positive effect that she's actually coming to be at the summit?
Most definitely, Sarah, most definitely. It gives that further oomph to the strength of the already existing relations. It always makes an impact, Sarah, when a leader of a country or a president or prime minister, any top official, acting in the name of a respective country, comes and visits and participates in key events, whether summits, conferences, etc. So indeed, it will have a very good impact. We're very much looking forward to welcoming her, and we hope she has time to tour our country as well, amidst the very busy work agenda that she will have. A few hours to de-stress and, to visit the museum and to see a little bit of the culture that our country has and proudly shares, and to understand more about from the British families that live here as to their way of life and how comfortable they are and how open Bahrain is.
Perfect.
So we look forward to having
Just before we end the show today, I'd like to ask you, what are the fields that you think, very shortly, the fields that you are more likely to witness more development in the future between Bahrain and the UK?
Well, as we mentioned before, trade relations are deepening all the time. I personally feel that we're more likely to witness developments such as education, technology, defense, and whatever may arise at the time or needing to be strengthened. However, trade relations key. We've seen a spike in the inward investment in the UK from the Gulf. We have companies, Bahraini companies such as Mumtalakat, that has investment in 2 British companies, McLaren Automotives and Envirogen. We have companies like Aluminium Bahrain, Alba, and Gulf Petrochemical Industries Company, GPIC, having a very strong trading links with the United Kingdom. Gulf Finance House, just to name a few, announced earlier that they have signed an agreement with Palace Revive Developments Limited, worth £100 million. This is an example of just strong investment in Bahrain real estate. Investcorp, for example, have announced also that the largest UK cybersecurity service provider, Nebula Solutions Limited, have been acquired by them. We have 3i Group, that has sold its debt management business to Investcorp for a total of, I believe, £222 million. Midel Cables is another very well-known Bahraini company that has seen strong presence in the United Kingdom. They are currently refitting the whole national grid of the UK with high-tech cables. But I believe that the headline deal of the year, of course, was Rolls-Royce Gulf Air contract, where Rolls-Royce will be supplying engineers to Gulf Air's new Dreamliner planes, and it's a deal worth over $900 million to take part over a 10-year period. So I just hope that I've been managed, to just touch upon the key points. But of course, I think trade and commerce are never ending. The door is always open to that.
Yes, the cooperation goes all over the map, as to say.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Ms. Nancy Khedouri, for being with us today. And we'd like to thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, and see you next week in another episode of Inside Edition.
Thank you so much. Do you want to?